Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the January TDL Forum. Thanks for joining us today. We will have quite a few updates and information for everyone. As always, your speakers are muted at this point to help mitigate any background noise. But if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put those in the chat window and we'll get to those. Today, we first are going to hear from Ann Washington from University of Houston Libraries, and she'll give us an update on the recent South Central States Fedora Users Group meeting that was held around January 11th at University of Houston Libraries. And then we'll have some community updates that Christy Park and I will go over, and then tech team updates from Ryan. So we'll get started. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Ann now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. There we go. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Laura. So yes, we had the South Central States Fedora user group meeting at the University of Houston Libraries last week, Wednesday and Thursday. We had about 30 attendees from 10 different institutions and organizations, which was really exciting to see. We had David Wilcox from Fedora, and he mentioned that it was a really good turnout as far as like a user group meeting goes. So that was great to hear. We were also lucky enough to have John Dunn come in from Indiana to talk to us about Avalon. And there are some kind of exciting updates from Fedora. I especially was interested to hear about a couple of larger kind of projects they're trying to tackle, which is some import and export abilities and operating at a larger scale. So he encouraged folks, if they were interested, to get involved in those efforts, as it is a community supported software. So if any of you all are interested in participating in that, they'd really be happy about that. Avalon was very exciting. John did a pretty general presentation. It's Avalon, I think Avalon Media System, which provides kind of a content management system for audiovisual material, which has been kind of left out of any sort of Hydra in a box, Island Door kind of discussions. As far as like robust support for AV. So he was talking about that, and it was exciting to hear that now they're running on Fedora 4. So that opens up a lot of opportunities for future development with that. And that kind of leads into the next part. On the second day, we took a lot of time to talk about next steps for the group. And one of those is to kind of more clearly define what it is that we want to do. Right now, loosely, it's defined just as a group for folks that have Fedora or considering Fedora to talk about different projects, development issues that they were running across, and just educational opportunities. So we wanted to see what we could do in the future and kind of have a mission or goal. So in the coming months, we want to do some work as far as defining that, and also taking into consideration both the technical elements as well as maybe some of the administrative pieces. We got some really good feedback from, I think it was Jennifer Flaxbart, who was talking about the user group being a way to provide information to administrators to take back to use as information to support the participation in these kind of community-driven software efforts. We also talked about potentially standing up a repository where we could do some community kind of development and troubleshooting of these new platforms. So experimenting with Avalon and as well as Haiku, formerly known as Hydra in a Box. As a lot of people are working on these things, we'd like to try to minimize the duplication of effort. So getting these into a shared space that we can all learn lessons from getting those services going. So we're going to set up a space for that, as well as a place for people to share their projects, again with this kind of goal of really collaboration and not reinventing the wheel and things like that. So we really want to have a space for people to share, so we can kind of get ideas and work together. So that was, I think, some really great outcomes and action items coming from that. So that's about it. If you're interested in kind of participating more, we have that Google group. I plan to send kind of a recap email to that group, as well as once we get some of these web spaces available, information about that to the group as well. I think we also are trying to get some time at TCDL. So if y'all were not able to make the meeting this past week, we should have some more conversation time at that point. So Ryan, you can add anything else if you'd like, but that's about it for me.
No, I don't really have anything to add. Thank you so much, Anne.
Yeah, and this is Christy. I want to add to Ryan's thanks. Thank you, Anne, and thank you to Andy Widener at the University of Houston who helped coordinate this meeting. They did a huge amount of work with Ryan and some others in the Fedora community to get this second meeting of the South Central States Fedora Users Group together. I want to add just a couple bits of context here. For those of you who aren't familiar with Fedora, it is a repository open source technology governed by DuraSpace, which is the umbrella organization that also manages DSpace and DuraCloud, some other things that TDL does. TDL as an organization doesn't deploy any Fedora-based systems at this point in time, but because we know there are members within our consortium who are working on Fedora-based projects, we wanted to help coordinate some opportunities for discussion among those groups, among those institutions, to, as Anne so articulately put it, so that we aren't duplicating effort. Folks aren't duplicating effort where they don't have to. People can find opportunities for collaboration and just learn from each other, and see what opportunities develop for TDL to support that work at our member institutions. So we are really appreciative of Anne and Andy for their work in coordinating this. It's really been a grassroots thing where members of the consortium decided they wanted to make this happen. We've provided a little bit of support here and there, and it's really just in its second meeting really grown. So thank you very much, Anne, for that great update and for all your work.
Yeah, and as Anne said, we will be looking at having a meeting during the TCDL, so we will keep you posted. But now I'm going to hand it over to Christy for a couple of our operational updates.
Okay, thanks, Laura. So I have the great privilege of giving you a couple of really exciting updates. We've got some exciting things happening here at the beginning of 2017, and we're thrilled to be able to tell you, I'm thrilled to be able to tell you about a couple of them, and then I'm going to hand it back over to Laura to go through some other good stuff. So the first thing that we want to tell you is that we are welcoming a new member here at the beginning of 2017 in Texas Women's University. We've been talking to TWU for a while, and we're just absolutely thrilled to bring them into the TDL family. As you guys probably know, there is a Library and Information Sciences school there, Library and Information Studies school there at TWU, as well as the Texas Women's Libraries, headed by Suzanne Sears, the Dean of Libraries there. And TWU has been building an institutional repository in DSpace over the last couple of years. We're going to be bringing that DSpace repository over into TDL systems over the coming months, as well as working with them on other ways that we can serve faculty and the library there at TWU with other scholarly communications tools. So welcome to them. We're excited to have them with us, and I'm sure many of you know folks at TWU, and hope you'll extend your welcome to them on TDL's behalf. Our other exciting update is that we're welcoming a new staff member starting February 1st. On that date, we'll have a new person in a brand new position for TDL. Courtney Muma will become TDL's services manager, and her focus in the first couple of years of work will be on managing and building and promoting two of our core services that we are committed to growing over the next few years, and those are our digital preservation services and research data services, including building the digital preservation network usage within the TDL and the Texas Data Repository. So many of you may know Courtney. She has had a career dedicated to building communities and services around digital preservation. She's coming to us from her last position at the Internet Archive. Before that, she worked with a number of Texas institutions and others around the country and in Canada on Archivematica, another open source product that helps with digital archiving. She's also been a guest instructor for MIT's Digital Preservation Management Workshop and is an archivist by, her background is as an archivist. So she has a lot of really wonderful experience in training, consulting, community building, and product development around digital preservation and research data curation. And she will be joining us, as I said, February 1st to help our community within Texas really grow in its usage of these services and its understanding, to help TDL articulate the value of those services and help members decide how they can use them most effectively for their collections. She'll also be coordinating on the research data side, coordinating our Texas Data Repository Steering Group and helping to build a community and services around that repository. So this is really exciting news for us. We're thrilled to have her join us, and we're excited for you all to get to know her soon after she starts with us in February. So hopefully she'll be with us for the February TDL Forum. She'll certainly be here for TCDL, and I'm confident many of you will be hearing from her over the weeks and months ahead. Courtney will be moving back to Texas probably sometime in March. She's currently in the Bay Area. But she will be working remotely from San Antonio and doing some traveling and work around the state for us from there. So that is, those are my two exciting updates. We'll be sending out formal announcements about these, written announcements, in the next couple weeks. We've got so much to tell people about what's going on at TDL that we're having to kind of pace ourselves with the announcements going out. But you will be seeing written announcements about both these two developments pretty soon. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Laura to go through some other community-based information.
Sure, a couple of reminders. First I wanted to say a thank you from all of us at TDL. We had some recent DSpace training by Narissa Lindsay at Texas A&M International and Laura McElfresh at Texas A&M at Galveston, and both of these are members of the TDL DSpace Education Working Group, and they graciously agreed to offer their services and experience working in DSpace. So the training sessions went really well. They were primarily for some new members to the consortium, just new colleagues, not new institutions, but new colleagues for us. So there's slides and then a video of one of those are available in the TDL repository. So thank you again so much to Narissa and Laura. They're great, even if you just want a little refresher on DSpace. Next up, we announced earlier this week that there will be a new 3-part webinar series coming out this spring. It'll be laying the foundation for research data services. And this webinar series will be led by Christy Park, Santi Thompson over at University of Houston, and Peace Williamson at University of Texas at Arlington. And this webinar series kind of came out of a need that was identified at the 2016 TDL Fall Data Symposium. And it mostly aims to equip librarians with some of these competencies that they can use around data so that they can share and provide outreach and information to their campuses. So here's a little bit in these slides. The first session will be Friday, February 17th. We do ask that you register so that we have an idea of how many people to expect, but it is free, of course, for TDL members. And the next one will be on Tuesday, February 28th. And this one will focus a little more on the data information literacy model. That'll be very interesting. And then session 3 will kind of connect these competencies, and that'll be on March 9th on a Thursday. So let us know if you have any questions, and we hope you can join us. Next up, of course, is the TCDL. In case you've been putting it off all fall, the registration deadline is fast approaching on February 3rd. So go ahead and we hope you'll consider proposing and get those proposals in. There's more information on the website, and we'll be looking for a variety of things as usual: presentations, 24/7, posters. So it should be a very exciting conference this year. We'll have keynote speaker Mike Casey from Indiana University's Media Digitization and Preservation Initiative, which has preserved an unbelievable amount of audio and video recordings, and they've been doing great work. We've also been working on a number of great workshops, and we will have some of these meetings like the South Central States Fedora meeting. So definitely want to register and submit your proposals. And then the other major looming deadline is January 31st, is the deadline for nominations for the TDL Awards. And we have the 6 awards that we've honored in the past, and this year we have a new Graduate Student Excellence Award, which we're very excited about. Of course, these awardees will be honored at the TCDL as part of the conference, and also for each awardee or group, they'll get one free registration to the TCDL. So it's a great opportunity to recognize some of your colleagues and their work. And again, that deadline is January 31st. We look forward to seeing those nominations. And my apologies, I jumped the gun. Now I'm going to hand it over to Ryan for some tech team updates.
I'm going to very quickly go through this. We do have some DSpace work going on right now. As Christy mentioned, we're thinking about the Texas Women's University DSpace migration over to TDL hosted servers. And Texas A&M Corpus Christi is merging 3 DSpaces into their central Texas A&M Corpus Christi DSpace. And we've also been doing some work with Angelo State, and we're going to be limiting access to various collections of communities by IP addresses and groups sent via shibboleth. If this is something you guys are thinking you might want to do at some point, just make sure you get in touch with us. We're building up our body of knowledge and how to do this with our current staff. The old staff that knew how to do it is moved on. So, but we're getting that body of knowledge built back up. I did want to mention that Laura is taking over training for OJS. So that was something that Christy was doing for a while, then myself, and Laura's doing it now. We always have waves in January and August of new journal requests, so we'll be alerting you that you have new journals being requested on your campuses as we get in touch with the faculty to make sure you guys know. And OJS 3 is out there, and so we're definitely considering should we be bringing up new journals that show up in this spring or this summer in OJS 3. And then start thinking about that migration plan for OJS 3, because that's going to be moving more than 40 journals to a new service and making sure everyone who uses those is in the loop. So you may want to be in the loop as well on that, and we'll have lots of communication as that comes down the pike. Barrio 3, we're working to schedule some training. You probably got a message from Laura about that. That's going to be a refresher. The other thing that you guys should be aware of is Jill at UNT and John at UT Southwestern identified an issue with filters, and so we're working to resolve that bug. But you may notice that if you're trying to add an embargo to your filter, it will not save at this current time. So I'm going to send a message out about that today. That's pretty big, and we do want to deal with that. Barrio 4, the next public demo, is Tuesday, January 24th. I'm pretty excited about the stories that are being worked on, and I think if you haven't dipped in for a while to see the progress on Barrio 4, the developers at A&M are doing an astounding job, and I really welcome you to jump in there and see what's up. DuraCloud, we are currently working towards upgrading DuraCloud to 4. When we do that, if you're a current user, we'll contact you about updating your jar files. And if you are working with DuraCloud, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we'll be in touch on that. I'm probably thinking maybe a little over a month from now we'll be done with that upgrade. Digital Preservation Network. There is a new version of the software for that throughout the Digital Preservation Network, and UT Austin has been working on it, and we're going to be testing that upload with them. After that, we'll reach out to the other DPN depositors to see if they are ready to go. Digital Public Library of America. We've been working on this with UNT and Houston Public. Nick Woodward has brought up a tool called Supplejack that's coming out of Digital New Zealand. It's really cool. It's a GUI-based tool that'll help us edit the metadata mapping that we need to do proper harvesting and transfer of the metadata up to Diplo. And we're going to begin testing that pretty shortly. We're just getting in and reviewing all of the metadata schemas from test collections right now. We have upgraded the TDR to the latest version of Dataverse. There were some minor corrections as we've gone along. Nothing that should impact the users, and nothing I think, frankly, most of you would notice. We're going to start sending out, if you are the data librarian, we'll start sending reports out to you next week. You'll start seeing those start showing up in your inbox if you're the identified librarian on your campus. Christy?
And, as a reminder on the Texas Data Repository, if your institution is choosing to use this service in the first year of operation, you need to contact us to get a copy of the memorandum of understanding that's governing our relationship around this service, and also talk to Ryan about getting Shibboleth set up to manage authentication for users at your campus. So there are a few steps to getting started there. We have received and been in conversation with about half a dozen, 6 or 7 members who are in various stages of getting paperwork signed to be able to use it. And we have authentication working for all of those institutions, I think, at this point. So we're moving forward, very well with rolling out that service, and just want to encourage everybody to take a look at it. We're excited about that data webinar series that Laura talked about as an opportunity to re-promote the Texas Data Repository, remind all of you and all of our members about the service and how it can be useful to you and what it can do for you, but also give some added context around research data competencies and training that members can take back to their campuses and feel confident about reaching out to researchers and others on other constituencies on their campus about research data. So those are all great opportunities to get involved with this service.
Thank you so much, Christy. There we go.
Now, if you want to start formulating any questions that you might have and typing those, please go ahead. This is just a quick reminder that the next issue of the TDL update will be coming out in early February. And we'll have our TDL member profile that's featured this series is Cameron Kanerstorfer from UT Southwestern. So I'm very excited to learn more about her and share that. And as always, I just wanted to remind everyone, if you have a story about your library or a colleague that you'd like to feature, we'd love to include that in the newsletter. So you may be remodeling or completing a giant digital collection, or just, we're really open. We want to hear from you and share that with the rest of the consortium. So feel free to be in touch. And the only other announcement is that our next TDL Forum will be on February 15th. And of course, we'll have the recording and the slides from this forum available after today's meeting. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, well, as we're coming up on almost 11 o'clock exactly, I guess we can sign off. But as always, if you do have questions that come up later, you can feel free to contact us. So,
thanks, Anne, for speaking up for the SCSFUG.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, bye. Thanks, everyone.